Hello everyone, happy holidays. Finally able to get to this video. It's been a hectic holiday season, so I'm glad to finally be able to get this out there. I'm really going to try to stick to the time. I have so many notes and I can elaborate so much on basically everything. So I'm just going to go through all of my notes here, and then whatever really comes through, I'll elaborate further. But so I'll just start with like my realizations, my aha moments, what I found useful, and what kind of things since I've read the book, that I've integrated into my life. And one of the things that has been a huge lesson for me is learning about projection, how people project onto me, and how I can project onto people. I've heard of the concept, but I didn't really fully understand it. And this book really elaborated projections, and especially as someone that I consider myself to be an empath. I either a programmed empath from childhood, people pleasing, but also naturally just an empath, and always wanting to be of service. I kind of take things in a lot. And I can take those things as mine when in reality, they were never mine to start to begin with. So yeah, projection has been a really big key learning thing for me. Another aha moment, and it's sometimes some of these things have been like hard to fully accept when you come to those realizations, but unconscious agreements and patterns of control, realizing how certain dynamics in my life, and this is where I take full responsibility, because no matter how hard things have been, there's definitely unconscious agreements that I made in these relationships, where I accepted certain things, even though intuitively I knew there was bad signs, but I accepted them unconsciously for other reasons within myself. So the concept of unconscious agreements was huge for me. Power struggles of who's right or wrong. At the end of the day, nobody is the winner with power struggles, and that tends to be something I notice a lot. I never had words for it, but like having the words to all of these things has been such a game changer. I wrote down also, I would like to integrate allowing myself to feel all of the feelings to completion, knowing that the process needs to happen for there to be resolution. Yeah. So feeling my feelings to completion, that is a practice that I'm trying to integrate into my life right now. I tend to want to like put things aside and stay busy and, not really feel things, but then it's like things are like burdening up, and I'm feeling stressed. I'm feeling all of these things coming through and I don't fully know what it is. And I realize like perhaps like I haven't allowed myself to really feel all of my feelings, or I'm trying to numb myself in some way. So that's something I'm trying to integrate into my life right now after reading the book. Choosing to learn lessons through wisdom and not experience. That's something else I want to integrate. I'm a like just go for it and do it and figure it out when you get there, and there's beauty in that. But there's also it's so much easier and now, especially as a mother, I can see it, from my kids' perspective, where I'm trying to give them my wisdom to make their lives easier. I should still be and accept wisdom as well, from people, from that I look up to or admire, or things that I learn, versus just trying to, do things and just figure it out. So wanting to integrate that into my life. Trap 7. I participate in continual conflict or avoid conflict at all cost. Addiction to chaos, disharmony, or loss. That was something that stuck out to me quite a bit. And I think more so on the avoiding conflict. I tend to be somebody that's an avoidant person. I don't like to fight. I don't like to even speak my truth fully, because of really it comes from deep childhood programming of not being able to speak my truth, or my voice not mattering. And I think it's like so deep rooted in there, that yeah, like, and I like, and there was a lot of fighting and even physical violence in my house, not at me, but what I witnessed with my parents. And I would just like avoid things at all cost. And now I take that into my relationships, and, you know, I fear speaking my truth. Or if there's an issue or yelling or whatever, I shut down. And that doesn't help either, as much as like yelling and all these things don't help anything. Also, shutting down and not speaking doesn't help at all. And that is definitely something I need to work through and grow through, learning to speak my truth more, in no matter what the occurrence or situation is. Something I wrote here, it was a realization, I find it absolutely fascinating. Feelings can happen in utero. Imaging shows babies can shudder when moms take a puff of a cigarette. Imaging also shows baby can shudder if mom even thinks of smoking. That's insane to me. That was like, I just felt like I needed to write down that realization, because like so much of ourselves there's like levels and deep levels of things that we could be who we are today, in part by whatever also happened in the womb with our mothers. And, you know, the reason I wrote that down in particular is because my mom did smoke when she was pregnant with us, me and my twin sister. And I always wonder to what extent how that affected us and our nervous system, and, you know, all these different things. So yeah, like just, and also when I was pregnant myself, going through certain emotional issues, you know, just those like realizations of just how much, you know, even down to being in the womb, how things can affect you. What was the most challenging aspect of the book, and why did you find it challenging? I put agreement to getting close feels uncomfortable. Yeah. All vulnerable stuff. Yeah, I do. There wasn't a lot of like emotion or like affection or love or, you know, safety in my home. So it's not really feeling like know, questioning myself whether I know fully how to, or, you know, just like overthinking it all does come up, like some feelings of discomfort in the idea of like allowing myself to be fully close. Even though I am with my kids, you know, I definitely feel something in my body when it comes to allowing myself to get fully close to people, and that's where the work really is. But I'm working through it. The question, and then I put the question, what do I need to say? Brings up what do I need to say? Brings up discomfort in me because I'm not used to speaking my truth. Will I be accepted for it? Truth telling about what I want in every day, including intimately. Yeah, just like my voice, like just speaking my truth, my needs, my desires, my, you know, everything brings up feelings of like, will I be accepted for who I am? Which is, you know, part of the realizations that I mentioned. Because I don't feel I can be independent, I perpetuate dependence. So it's crazy because I've proven so much to myself throughout my life of what I'm capable of. But yeah, like there definitely is levels of dependence or codependencies and fears of being fully independent. Questions of, can I be fully independent? And I know what it's from. I even remember those specific thoughts in my head, literally in elementary school, like, you know, of like parents saying that you're not smart enough, or you're not good enough, or you're not this, you're not that, and then telling myself like, well, I guess I'm gonna have to be dependent on others because clearly I'm not smart enough or good enough. And I think it's like, so it's just like really wanting to be deep rooted in there. I'm seeing it for what it is now, and working through these things. But the reality is, yeah, like there is codependencies on dependence. And then I put, okay, so next topic is, how could this book inform your practice as a breath worker? How are you inspired to bring what you learned into the sessions? One of the things I put here is bringing in awareness that it's okay to feel all your feelings and to allow them to flow through to completion. Phrasing it in a way where you cheat yourself of profound human experience when you don't. So that's so simple, yet it can be so difficult, and also so rewarding, to allow whomever I'm teaching or I'm with to really just feel all of their feelings, like whether you feel sad or you feel angry, or you just whatever it is that's going on in your body, just allow it to fully go through, knowing that there will be a completion of that emotion. It is not a forever state of being, because I think what the fear is that you're going to get stuck in that feeling forever and you won't know how to get out. But just trusting that it is, there was a video that I watched of contraction, expansion. So allowing yourself to go through that contraction, but knowing and looking forward to that you will feel expansion at some point from it, or you will grow from it. So to allow those feelings to flow through you is an amazing gift that I can give to other people. How to figure out what you want, conditioning aside. So that's something very interesting, is a lot of times people don't even know what they want out of life. And I can speak for myself. Sometimes I've been in that position where I don't even know what I want. And where do you start when you don't even know what your needs are? And to help people figure out what they want in life. So conditioning aside, start with basic. So you teach them how to start with basic wants. Like, what are your basic wants right now? Do you want water? Do you want food? Like, do you need this? Like, what do you need right now in this moment? And like really honing in on what your needs are. Asking the question, what does one get out of staying stuck? Brings a sense of curiosity and promise. So I can just imagine even in the realm that I'm in right now with ecstatic dance and our business that we're doing and everything like that, there tends to be a feeling in many people of just feeling stuck in their lives. And yeah, that advice of like, what do you get out of staying in that stuck place? And just bringing more curiosity, whereas not so much judgment or frustration out of it, but bringing curiosity into that stuckness, and figuring yourself out from there, like that, figuring out what your needs are, what your feelings are from that stuckness, and seeing what kind of medicine can come out of that. Claiming creativity for all of the issues in your life. That is an amazing piece of advice and empowerment for everyone. And it can be, there can be resistance to it, but like once you hone in on you are the creator of your reality and everything around you, you have so much more power in your hands, because you realize that you can make anything happen. But just learning to take full responsibility for literally everything in your life. But obviously clarifying and wording it in a way where it empowers them and not disempowers them. Having unclear boundaries, which creates distortions. So teaching my clients about having clear boundaries in their lives, with their relationships, with their work, with themselves, with just in general, like what are your boundaries, and really honing in like your clear boundaries in life, so that you can also figure out what your feelings and your needs are, and what's yours and what's not yours, and so you can come to more clarity of who you really are. Connecting to feelings over thoughts. So yeah, definitely honing in more on the felt sense, all of the emotions and everything going on in your body, really tuning in on your body, because at the end of the day, it's your body stores and has so much wisdom and knows things way before you even do. So just really tuning in on what are you feeling in that moment versus what's going on in the monkey mind. Next one, it's important to not recuse I don't know why I put recuse anyone, because it takes away from the chance for them to do it by themselves. It's disempowering. Oh, rescue. It's important not to rescue anyone because it takes away the chance from them to do it by them. Okay, so that's really important for me to know, because I tend to want to rescue people and help people and save people. It's just in my nature. And allowing and really learning how to hold space for people in the way of listening, just active listening and presence, and knowing that I don't need to rescue them from whatever they're going through. If anything, giving them the gift of allowing them to fully feel everything, and just holding space for them and just listening sometimes is what people need. They don't need to be rescued. So that's an amazing thing for me to take into my practice. Devaluing and interrupting in relationships. So yeah, I think, we all, like, in learning, when we're communicating with people, we have a tendency to want to, like, listen and then give them our perspective, and kind of goes on to what I was previously saying, but like not interrupting or devaluing whatever someone's going through, just fully listening to them and accepting them for wherever they're at, and not trying to give advice or alter their perceptions or impose anything onto them, or project my own things onto them. So that I can take into my practice as well. And then the last subject is, what patterns or opportunities has it highlighted for you, or how might those areas contribute to your overall growth? And I put patterns of repeating roles from childhood. Unconscious mind manifests these things. Instead of getting what I want, I get what I don't want. Yeah, that was incredibly powerful. Just because of all the unconscious agreements and all of the unconscious things going on in my realm. And I think we're working on the unconscious mind. Like, we're literally, like, 80% of the day is our unconscious mind. And it's so powerful, because those hidden thoughts and concepts and everything that you've been believing manifests into your day-to-day reality. So it's like, yeah, just the opportunity there is to really figure out, what are those unconscious agreements, and how can I shift those thought patterns so that they benefit me and I get better outcomes out of life and manifest the things that I do want. Blame keeps you posted on the externals so as to not have to look within. I can fully admit to everyone that, yeah, like, I have a tendency, or I have had a tendency, to just want to put the blame on, oh, it's this person that did this, and this person did that to me, and that's why this is happening. And, if it wasn't for this situation, I wouldn't be here today. And just taking full responsibility over my life and over my decisions, and not placing blame on anything or anyone. And that all kind of coincides with everything that I've been saying. I tend to compromise my personal interests for closeness. So that's the people pleaser in me. And yeah, that's something I'm definitely working through. I tend to compromise. Yeah. Okay. So last one, that I found very interesting is Ash Happens, breathing and dance recommend for detox. 70% of breathing detoxes. It's very interesting to know that 70% of the breath is detoxifying. Worrying after feeling good, and worrying blocks positive energy. So yeah, and the reason I wrote that down is because I have been in situations where I feel growth happening, but I tend to, like, it's an unconscious thing where it's like, oh, life is feeling too good right now, or too many good things are happening, and perhaps there's a feeling of, I'm gonna lose it, or something bad's gonna happen, or whatever, and I might try to screw it up, or do something to kind of like, or have some kind of a resistance to too much goodness. And that's why I wrote down that, and that's what that is, like ash happens. So, and then when those moments happen, that I'm already in dance and all these modalities and everything. And now I'm doing the breath work, and just whenever those feelings come up or resistance comes up of like, oh my God, it's too much good happening, knowing that I can detox that through the breath, through my movement, and just really go into it with intention versus, sometimes I can do the dance and all these different things, but I'm not really going into it with an intention. So when I feel any kind of resistance in my body, even if it's from too much goodness, I can move through it in that way. But yeah, so, oh my God, this is 20 minutes in. All right, so thank you, everybody. I'm sorry this was so long, but yeah, I just wanted to get through this. Take care.